it's Mike Rickard, and it is Talk to Me Tuesday number 2. So today is the big announcement on what I have going on. And it's a new music project, but it's not 100% new. What this project is a remix project from some of the songs from Sweat. And I'm very excited to share them with you because I love the music from Sweat. But this is totally different than anything I've done before. And just to give you a little bit of a taste of what's coming, here's a snippet from one of the songs called Only Love.
Only love, only love, only love can do. So why would you? Gives you a reason to smile, then kicks your teeth out. Gives you a reason to hope.
Hope you like that. Hope it whets your appetite to hear more. So stay tuned, because next week I'm going to give you even more details as far as like the name of the project. May even go ahead and release what the cover art looks like. And then a little bit of information on telling you how you can get a copy as well. So stay tuned for more details next week. So let's go ahead and get to the questions that we had this week. And I had several different questions, and I will start with Dave in Florida. Dave asks, in the new project, will the music be a variety of music, or will it be totally a different type altogether? And if so, what type will it be? Well, hopefully from that snippet you'll be able to tell that it's pretty much a dance remix. I wanted something that was very high energy and take some of the songs that were already upbeat songs from Sweat and do remixes to them. Will it be just a CD release or possibly a CD DVD release? It'll only be a CD release, but I've only ordered a limited quantity. Once those sell out, it'll be digital only. So if you want a copy of the actual physical disc, and I'm still one of those old school, I like that. I still think discs sound better than download a lot of times. Hopefully you'll get a copy. And then the last part of his question, have you been working on this project for a while, or is it something that has just blossomed in the last few months? Well, I actually had a remix done for one of the songs and played it at my CD release party for Sweat, and wasn't sure what to do with it. And so after a while I did go ahead and commission additional remixes done for some of the other songs, and so it became an EP at that point. So as far as some of the inspiration from that, one of the requests or things that people used to say to me a lot is that they wish that they could get a remix of the song Natural from Stirred Not Shaken. So that created the idea in my mind of when releasing Sweat that I should do it in a format that's a little bit different than the original release. And I know for some of my favorite artists, I always have bought the remix singles when they've come out. So that's some of the inspiration that went into leading toward this new project. Thanks for your questions, Dave. Next we have, let's see, we have Carla in Indiana that says, song inspiration, is your new stuff going to be more soulful or more on the lines of a song to go with a wine and cheese party at a pool on an extremely hot day? That was fun. Yes, it was fun, Carla. And this is definitely going to be pool party, out in the sun kind of music. And then how long does it take to create a tune to go with lyrics? Well, that really varies depending on, either the song or maybe what's going on with me. There have been times when I've written lyrics that I've never put to music at all. I have quite a collection of those. I also have songs that it took from the time I wrote the lyrics to doing the music more than a year. It just depends. And then I've had other songs that I've pretty much done both simultaneously. It just really depends on the song and where I'm at and what I'm feeling with a particular song. And as far as what goes into song choices on which ones do I put music to and which do I just leave as lyrics, it really depends, I think, on how I feel about the lyrics themselves. Some I'm absolutely committed to putting to music no matter how much I may be struggling with it at the time, or some I may like it just need to get something out, and then I'm not going to do anything with it. And I also have gone back and taken sections of those lyrics and put it into lyrics that actually did become songs. So sometimes I'll rob Peter to pay Paul in that case. Thanks for your questions, Carla. So we also have a question from Melanie in Augusta. Do you think you will come and perform for us here in Augusta anytime soon? So Augusta's my hometown, and Melanie and I went to school together. So to answer your question, Melanie, usually when I perform, it's just me and an acoustic guitar. So if there are any good coffee shops in Augusta that have singer-songwriters, let me know. I'd love to come and perform. And also, I've done a number of home concerts, and those are some of my favorites, where it's just me in a living room with just me and an acoustic guitar and people sitting around and doing some songs. So that's a couple of options there. Anne-Marie in Minnesota basically asked a similar question about me touring and when am I going to come up north, and saying I owe you a housewarming now that some of our friends have moved. And you're true. I did say I would come up to Minnesota, and I do want to come up there, and hopefully we can make that happen in the summer of 2013. I certainly don't want to come up there when it's the snowy tundra of Minnesota, but would love to see you guys. All right, next question comes from Travis in Atlanta, and it says, what time, place, and or situation were you most surprised to find yourself in when inspired to create a song? Well, I have been walking down the hall at work before. I've been on an airplane. I've been in an airport shuttle going from the airport to the hotel. Any of those kinds of things have inspired me, and where I'll either be writing lyrics on a plane, or I've even been where I've sat in the case of the airport shuttle, where I took my phone out and called myself to leave myself a message, and I'm singing into the phone. Hopefully people aren't realizing what I'm doing and thinking that I'm a total freak by doing it at the same time. So I always try to make sure that I have pen and paper handy, or phone, or a little portable recorder if I need to sing into it. Of course, my phone now has that ability to record audio snippets. So as long as I've got those tools handy, then I'm good, because I never know when the inspiration is going to hit. Also, traveling a lot. I've written a number of lyrics in hotel rooms. The song Good Night, the lyrics came. They began at the hotel at Old Town in Wichita, Kansas. And then there was another trip where I can't remember the songs, but I wrote 2 lyrics in one night. I was feeling exceptionally inspired that night. So really, those are all the kind of places where I have been inspired. When the Hot Cools Down, I actually wrote in Chennai, India. When I was traveling, so wrote the lyrics to those. So I really find that, with songwriting, you need to devote some discipline to it to make it a craft. It can't be pure inspiration. So sometimes in those cases, when I'm at home, I'll make an appointment with myself to sit down and write and see what comes out. But a lot of times when I feel the inspiration, I take advantage of it as best I can. The lyrics from Who I Am off of Stirred Not Shaken, I was actually in bed, and that the whole idea of who I am and some of the contradictions that exist within me and with all of us, that thought had been germinating in my head for a while, and then I was in bed trying to go to sleep, and those enough of an idea came to me that I immediately got up and pretty much wrote the lyrics in about 30 or 45 minutes. And had I not gotten up and taken that opportunity, then I probably wouldn't have written that song. So it's very important to pay attention to inspiration, and I usually know, I can feel when it's time to write. And I also find if I am telling my friends the same story, all of my different friends the same story over and over, that's probably something that's going to end up being written about. So I've learned to read myself that way. So thanks for your question, Travis. And then the last question, which is actually the winning question, comes from Leah in Texas. And the question is really not about music, it's not about fun. It's a really serious question. And it says, what would you do or say to a friend you just found out may die from cancer? And that's a tough one. So I'm going to answer that based on some of my own experiences of dealing with people through loss, and how I would want to be treated as well. The first thing, don't ignore the event by saying nothing. I think that is just as hurtful as the other side of the coin by throwing out really a needless platitude such as, oh, it's God's will, or God has a plan, or it's going to be okay, because we don't know if it's going to be okay. So what I think the best thing to do is simply say, I'm sorry, I care, I love you, and what can I do? And to just be genuine in that case, and show the person that you really care. And I had a friend who went through a divorce several years ago, and every time we talked on the phone, but particularly when we got together in person, and she reminded me of this story, I'd kind of forgotten it, but every time we would get together, I would go, okay, what do you need from me today? Do you need me to just sit and listen and let you talk? Do you need me to distract you and make you laugh? Or is there anything I can do for you? And I just kind of let her set the tone for what she needed at that time. And that really stuck with her and helped her through a difficult time, and certainly made our friendship more rich. So I guess those things would be what I would say. Be genuine, acknowledge the reality of the situation, and then ask how you can help, and then be there for your friend. So hope that answers your question and is helpful. So those are all the questions for this week's Talk to Me Tuesday. I look forward to hearing more of your questions this week, and then also to share more details on the Remix project. So for this Talk to Me Tuesday, it's a wrap. So on previous Talk to Me Tuesdays, I mentioned that if you send in a question, you're eligible for a prize. So what are the prizes, you may ask? Well, the winning question from each week will get an autographed copy of either Stirred Not Shaken, my first project, Sweat, the second one, or you thought I was going to show you the picture, didn't you? Not yet. Still more details to come on future Talk to Me Tuesdays. But in the meantime, go ahead and send in your questions. So on previous Talk to Me Tuesdays, I mentioned that if you send in your questions, you're eligible for a prize. So what are the prizes that you're eligible for? Well, the